Ashley Etienne, there on the left, is a longtime Democrat operative. She served as an advisor to President Obama and Vice President Harris. She spent years working with former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, running her anti-Trump war room in the first administration. And now she's telling top Democrats to quote, stop doing this dumb thing.
The leadership on Capitol Hill right now wants to sort of move away from that Pelosi era, that they want to, they don't want to embrace anyone or anything that's like Pelosi, which I just think is the dumbest as
That's
ever.
crazy.
She's the baddest in the business. We actually landed punches. We actually won 40 seats. I'm just surprised that they're not calling everybody that has landed some punches on Trump.
Okay, let's bring in Democrat Congressman from Massachusetts, Jake Auchincloss. He served in Congress for the past 4 years. He says there's a shortage of big ideas in his party right now. Congressman, thank you very much for being here. I guess, do you have a similar frustration that Ashley Etienne is expressing about why people aren't using the Nancy Pelosi playbook these days?
Martha, thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
Beltway boxing is nothing new. Frustration is nothing new. Hakeem has ironclad support within the caucus. Hakeem does consult with Nancy Pelosi, but these midterms are not going to be about Hakeem Jeffries. They're going to be about the economy, healthcare, and corruption. Right now, in a Fox News poll, only a third of voters think the president's handling inflation well. And his response is to tell them that Christmas is going to get more expensive. And he's dining with 220 of his closest meme coin investors. Voters notice that stuff. They're not going to appreciate it. And they're definitely not going to appreciate it when the economy tips into a recession and he cuts Medicaid and at-home care and perinatal care for kids. So we got a long way to go.
Are you hoping that there's a recession so that you'll do better in the midterms, Congressman?
No, I don't hope there's a recession because I represent 800,000 people who are scared of how badly this economy is being managed right now. I met with every single local chamber of commerce in my district. I've met with the small businesses. I've met with my constituents, and everything that they tell me converges on one word: uncertainty. And uncertainty is toxic for the business environment. Nobody knows what the president's going to say next.
I just want to, so we had a lot of uncertainty in the last 4 years, right? You had inflation that was rising at levels that we hadn't seen in a really long time. So do you concede that it takes a little time to reset the equation after all of that? And do you hope that the president is successful in creating a strong economy at the end of this, once the deals are worked out with a lot of major countries?
Martha, I was a Marine before I was a congressman. I'm an American before I'm either. I want this economy to be ripping and roaring, regardless of who is president. But what I am seeing is a president who is more interested in the valuation of his meme coin than he is in people's 401ks. What I'm seeing is a president who, along with Howard Lutnick, is self-dealing on crypto. And by the way, Howard Lutnick owns his own crypto business on the side, instead of worrying about the strength of the US dollar. This is concerning to not just me, it's concerning to the job makers across America who have to make decisions about hiring, about capital equipment, and they're all pulling back. And when they pull back, you tip a good economy into a recession.
Well, we saw jobs added this morning, and we have seen a lot of accelerated purchases as people try to position themselves, different companies across the country, for a little bit of pain through the course of this tariff issue. So we'll see. I mean, you may end up being right. I just think that giving something 28 days to get figured out when you're trying to reorganize injustices in global trade, probably isn't enough time. I understand people getting a little nervous, but we'll see where it goes. Do you want Hakeem Jeffries to stay in his position? Because one of the things that Ashley Etienne is accusing him of is just being too meek and not being strong enough and not taking enough action to fight back. Sounds like that's something you want.
Hakeem Jeffries had unanimous votes in the caucus to be the party leader in the House. He will again when we take back the House and he becomes Speaker, including from me. And when he does that, Democrats then are going to be able to offer our own ideas. Because it is true that Democrats over the last decade have been more clear about what we are against than what we are for. And Americans do need to know what we are for, how we're going to lower the cost of housing by building more housing, how we are going to take on the health insurance corporations that are price gouging healthcare in this country, how we're going to surge 101 tutoring to every student in this country who is behind on reading and writing because of the catastrophic school closures. We are going to offer a positive agenda.
Okay, Congressman Jake Auchincloss, thank you for joining us. Your audio was a little bit, so I hope I caught everything that you said, but I want to thank you very much for joining us from Maine. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.